And everybody who faces him has to figure out how to sweep the right words into an argument pile and then try to make that pile big enough that Reacher can't get through it. He can. He always can. And even if he couldn't, he could see over it. And even if he couldn't see over it, he would have already snuck around it and gotten behind his opponent and leveled him before they could even write the last line of their opener, and then sit back and smile and nod like Doogie Howser did every goddamn week. And that's the thing. How many times can we go over it? How many ways can we say that Jack Reacher is bigger, stronger, and mightier than everyone else in this tournament? Because he just is. Sorry. Here we are, again. And this time we're facing the baddest man in 1870s Chinatown, San Francisco, Sahm. And do not think for 1 minute that I am sleeping on this man. I am not. I want Sahm to stay in Chinatown. I like him there. Because if he's there, the only thing I have to worry about is kind of pretty far-fetched. If he had 10 years, he would definitely be the boss of all the opium. And he would have been able to branch out from San Francisco. And if he branched out, he may have gotten as far as Hill Valley. And if he gets to Hill Valley in 1885, he might run across Doc Brown and would have, on principle, kicked Biff's face in instantly, just in case he'd been thinking about moving into opium instead of just basic menacing. And then with that out of the way, he could have gotten all the train stuff done at a leisurely pace and given Mary Steenburgen a chance to realize that she got mixed up in time travel before and almost got murdered by Jack the Ripper. Look it up. I'd do anything to keep Sahm from coming to the future where you could potentially cross paths with my man. I'd prefer Sahm to find Jack the Ripper than Jack the Reacher. I don't want the fight to happen. It's gonna be bad. And here's why. Let's put in Bruce Lee. We'll take out the actor that played Sahm. We'll put in Bruce Lee. He's 3 inches shorter and 30 pounds lighter than Sahm. So to keep it fair, we'll take out Reacher and put in Muhammad Ali. A little shorter and lighter, so good fight. Here's what the actual Bruce Lee said about fighting Ali from the book, The Making of Enter the Dragon. Bruce's right hand followed Ali's right hand. Ali's left foot followed Bruce's left foot. Bruce was fighting in Ali's shoes. Everybody says I must fight Ali someday, Bruce said. I'm studying every move he makes. I'm getting to know how he thinks and moves. But Bruce knew he could never win a fight against Ali. Look at my hand, he said. That's a little Chinese hand. He'd kill me. So I'm not speaking for me. I'm not speaking for Reacher. I am letting Bruce Lee, whom nobody in this tournament would step to, do my advocating for me. It just won't work.
So here's the thing. Bruce did say that, but we ain't talking about Bruce. We talking about Sahm. Sahm is based on. And what do writers, which I am, do when we base our characters off of ourselves? We eliminate our weaknesses within the character. We see the character as we wish to be. Sahm has gone up against bigger. He's gone up against multiples. He's gone up against different styles. Matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, he's always the smallest dog in the fight. And you know what? I get it. I understand, because if Sahm did go into the 1800s Hill Valley, he'd have been not only running things, but I'm pretty sure he'd have figured out a way to make his opium work within the freaking time machine that they wouldn't have had to get with all the hijinks of the damn train. And Buford Mad Dog Tannen would have got hit so hard that Biff would have had more brain damage than he already had in the first place after getting his ass whooped by another sub 5'5" guy by the name of Martin Aloysius McFly. But the bottom line is, if Sahm did go up against Ali in his prime, it'd be another badass fight. Besides, we all know that Bruce was a humble man as well. Bottom line is, number one, Sahm gets the job done. All right, he can fight smooth. Okay, you're not gonna hit Sahm unless he lets you hit him. All right, but then there's a lot of the time where he's gonna take your best just to get in your head to let you know you've got nothing for him. He's gone up against the best his time period has had to offer. People that we look at nowadays and go, that's just that guy. There were a ton of them back then. So to be that guy back then, you had to have something more within you to set yourself apart. Sahm and the folks that he's fighting with, they have one thing that a lot of folks miss. The fact that they are fighting for survival. We're not fighting for survival in the 21st century. What are we fighting over? We're sitting here throwing like hissy fits over Twitter about dumb stuff. Okay? The people that are fighting for their lives, not saying that Jack Reacher ain't fighting for his life, because he was involved in a lot of stuff that he had to fight for his life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Would not take it away from Jack Reacher at all. He's a badass. But Sahm is that guy that he is gonna survive no matter what. He walked into an Irish bar, into a pub, and took out the baddest dude they had. After fighting a bunch of these Marmadukes all day in Chinatown when they wanted to wildin' out because games. So he spent all day taking out mooks, then walked into their house and took out the biggest, baddest man in the yard. Man, Dylan has it. That man had at least 4 to 6 inches in height and well over 150 pounds. Come on, that is a battle that on paper Sahm loses, but he didn't. Why? Not just because it's in the script, because he's just that guy. Him and Jack Reacher and Big D, both big guys, big, broad-shouldered, badass guys. Main difference, yeah, Reacher has training under his belt. Absolutely. A lot of training under his belt. So does Sahm. And a lot of Reacher's training is based off of what Sahm has already mastered, because martial arts lineage is traced back to the Shaolin temples. Bottom line is, coming across the salt, you do what you got to do to survive. That's what Sahm does. And I'm banking lifetime.
Sahm, I don't want to say he's soft, but compared to Reacher, I mean, he has a house, and he has, like, he's in the same zip code every day. And I wanted to think about what you touched on as far as the time that they're in. Because I was trying to think of, so if Sahm came to the future and was a contemporary of Reacher, he would have had a bunch of things distracted him, and he wouldn't have been able to focus all his time on learning his martial arts, because he would have had fucking Twitter. And if Reacher went back in time, he would not have had the military training that he had, but he'd still be as big as he was, because he wouldn't have to invent a gym and like lift cows and stuff, because he's just like that. And he could have studied the same stuff Sahm did. So I'm not taking anything away from Sahm. If I had my way, if this show wasn't so fucking mean, I would just have Sahm get Reacher hooked on opium, and they could be friends and have adventures.
What is the one thing that Reacher has that will put him over the top? Because this is going to be close.
Great question. I studied. You're supposed to go, great question, and somebody asks a question. So, let me put it to you this way. Yes, Sahm is fast. If they took those cool little hatchets they had, you had Sahm and Reacher next to each other, and each one of them had to have one of those little hatchets buried in their shoulder, would your vote on who would win change? Because I'm pretty sure that Reacher would be better at taking hatchets. Would you want to get hit 10 times by Sahm, or have Reacher pound you on the top of the head like you were a circus tent steak once?
Speaking as a martial artist and someone who's been in fights, it's way worse to get hit with combinations because those combinations each punch hurts more than the last one. The hardest punch usually comes at the very beginning because you put everything into it. Anyone that's been in a fight, knows anything about fighting, knows that. So going for that one huge knockout shot right away, the big hammer blow, Sahm ain't gonna be there. So the Alan Rickman version of this long-standing character,
Richson. It's not Snake.
Richson. Sorry,
The glass.
he's my favorite. He's my favorite iteration of the character, hands down. He truly is. He's big. He's strong. He's very knowledgeable. But Sahm, as I've already stated multiple times already, he's going to lure Reacher in. And it is way more important. You ask any martial artist worth their salt. It is always said that the technique is better than power. Technique is better than strength. Matter of fact, my Hanchi tells me every time I'm in the dojo, use the technique, not your muscle. Because the bottom line is, Reacher is going to try to go after Sahm, and he's going to try to make the fight his. And he's going to gas himself. He is going to gas himself royally. Not to mention the fact that as much as Jack Reacher likes throwing that headbutt, he's going to throw it in the wrong way, and he's going to have he's going to be a couple of Cheetos short of a full bag. Sahm is going to know what he's going to be trying to do. And Sahm is going to have an answer for him. Period, point blank.
Okay, we may have uncovered it unintentionally. A conspiracy where martial arts teachers tell everybody that technique is more important than size because they can't make people bigger, but they can keep charging them for martial arts lessons. So we ought to dig into that. Now,
Oh, I take that personally.
as far as
Wow.
in every instance, you had to say what Reacher was going to do. And in an actual fight, Reacher's going to do what Reacher's going to do. The fact is that if they're going to fight, they're going to hit each other. If you're going to tell me Sam's going to run around until Reacher clever langs himself and then barfs in the middle of the ring and falls over, I will tell you, Sam will win. But if I tell you Reacher is going to get Sahm against the wall and then put him through it and then find another wall to put him through, I'm not wrong. Because 40 punches to his biceps are not going to stop him from doing that. So I guess overall, I'm thinking of it from the standpoint of if they're both allowed to do exactly what they want to do, the outcome would be like we described. But if it was going to be a fight where they just met each other in an alley, I don't see Reacher losing.